Boys and girls, I'm so excited that you're gonna get to do some fall art today with me. So today in class, you should have made a tree out of some brown paper and your hand. We traced our hand, we cut it out. Now remember, it didn't have to be perfect because trees have branches going every which way. So we have our hand tree, and you're going to need to find this piece of white paper that's in your Wait for Teacher bag. So those are the papers you're gonna need. Then you can get crayons out if you want, and I got colors that I thought would be for fall leaves. In the fall, the leaves turn colors. So I got red, some leaves are still green, sometimes the leaves turn brown, they can turn orange, and they can turn yellow. So you might want crayons. You don't have to use crayons though. Let me show you what else you could use. In your Wait for Teacher bag, you had a plastic bag, and in that plastic bag was something called tissue paper. It's colored tissue paper. You see all these colors? So you have some colored tissue paper. You can get that out. And you have some little Q-tips. I'm going to tell you what those are for in just a minute, okay? So I'm going to set those aside. So step one, you're going to want to put your name on your paper. So the first thing I do is always the same. Pick up my pencil, pinch that pencil, and write my name. So go ahead and write your name on the white paper. Anywhere on the white paper, write your name. And then flip your paper over so that's on the back side so you can't see your name. Next, we're gonna need to glue down our tree, our hand that is a tree. So I'm gonna flip it over. You can see where I colored over with crayon when I was cutting. So that's the side I'm gonna put my glue on. So I'm gonna take my glue stick, crank it up 2 times, 1, 2, and I'm going to put a dab of glue on each branch or each finger of my tree. Just a dab, go all the way up the branches, and then go around the edges and a little bit in the middle. And then I'm going to flip it over and stick it down to the bottom of my paper. You see how it's growing out of the bottom of my paper. Now, if you want to really make it look like a tree, you could take your crayons and add some grass down here if you want. You could add anything really that you wanted on the ground underneath your tree. I'm just gonna add a little grass, okay? Now comes the fun part. In the fall, the leaves on trees turn lots of different colors. They turn some of these colors that are right here. And I want you to look as a scientist this week and look at the trees around your neighborhood and see what colors you can see the leaves turning. So one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add some leaves to our tree, and we might even add some leaves that have fallen onto the ground. If you want, you can use crayons and you could color leaves on your tree. That's one way you can add leaves. I'm gonna add leaves of all different colors because there's lots of leaves that turn, and I'm putting them all over my tree because they are all over the tree. Now, not only are they on the tree, some of them are falling to the ground. You see that? I'm gonna put leaves falling to the ground. Now, I'm going really fast because I want you to be able to get started, but I'm not gonna do just crayons. I wanna use this tissue paper because I think this looks really fun. We're gonna make leaves out of tissue paper, and here's how you do it. You don't even need scissors. This is what's kind of fun. So I'm gonna pick some orange to start with because I saw some orange leaves on the trees near my house. I'm gonna take a little piece of the edge. I'm just gonna rip it off. You see that? I just ripped it. I don't even need scissors. And I'm gonna crumple it up like a crumpled leaf. Then I'm gonna take my glue stick and I'm gonna decide, where do I want this leaf? I think I want this leaf right here. I'm gonna put a little dab of glue and stick my leaf down. And now maybe I want some brown leaves or some golden leaves. I'm gonna rip a piece, crumple it, put a dab of glue, and stick it down. I'm gonna do some more of that color. Rip, crumple, stick. Rip, crumple, stick. I'm gonna actually put this one down on the ground. It fell out of the tree. In the fall, the leaves fall from the tree. So I'm gonna keep adding lots of leaves, different colors. I even see some that are bluish green. Have you ever seen that? I'm gonna crumple. I'm going to stick. Okay, I'm gonna keep working and I'm gonna show you another idea in just a minute. All right, boys and girls, now I'm still working on mine and I'm gonna add a lot more leaves to my tree. I'm gonna add more leaves to the top and I'm gonna add more leaves to the bottom. And I might even wanna color in my sky when I'm done. But I wanna give you another idea. If you want, and if you have these supplies at home, you could also use this to make your artwork. So if you have watercolor paints at home, you can take out your paints. Now, if you don't have paints, that's okay. But if you have paints, then you can use these Q-tips that we put in your bag. And you're going to get it wet with some water. And I'm gonna pick a color that I think is like a fall color. So I'm gonna make some orange paint with my watercolors. Now, I've not tried this, so you guys are gonna get to see how this looks. So I'm gonna make some orange paint. You see how I got orange paint on there now? And now I'm gonna make some leaves by just putting some dots right around the branches. Now there's not much orange paint left in here. This one has been used a lot. So maybe I wanna make a red leaf. Let's see if red will work better. Well, I could make some orange leaves. I could make some orange leaves and red leaves and brown leaves down here below. These paints don't work the best. So if you want to use paints, you can. Another thing is if you have glue at home, white glue, and if your mom or dad says you can use it, you can put a little bit of glue on a piece of paper or a paper plate, and you can use your Q-tip to glue your leaves on. So I'm going to put a little glue there. I'm going to rip one of my pieces of tissue paper and stick it right to that glue. Then I'm going to put another drop of glue and I'm going to rip a piece and stick it to my tree. And I'm going to put a drop of glue and rip a piece and stick it to my tree. So when I'm done, I'm going to have a tree full of fall leaves. I might have some fall leaves down below. I might even want to, like I said, add some beautiful sky to the top. You get to make it however you want, but when you're all done, we want to see your beautiful finished artwork. And I hope you hang it in a good spot in your house because this will be a great fall decoration. Have fun!
And when you're done, boys and girls, don't forget, you need to make sure your crayons are put away, your Q-tips can go in the trash, your extra tissue paper can go in your art supplies. Maybe you want to make an extra project later with that. That's free for you to use. Make sure your glue is twisted back down.
Oh, thank you.
With the cap on nice and tight and back in your toolbox. And don't forget, if you took paints out, make sure you clean up your paints. If you used white glue, make sure the cap is twisted down. That's a little bit different. And then make sure everything's thrown away and put away so that you're responsible and it can be found next time you need it.
Thank you, Miss O.
Don't forget to take a picture of your fall tree so we can see how amazing your art turned out.